As the month of June begins, we celebrate the Feast of the Ascension. This feast, I think, may be one of the most underrated in the liturgical calendar, and that's because the Ascension itself is arguably one of the most underrated of the mysteries in Jesus' whole life. Why? Because it represents the climax of what we call the Paschal Mystery. We tend to think of the Paschal Mystery strictly in terms of Easter, that is to say, his death and resurrection. So everything that happens basically from the upper room on Holy Thursday through Easter Sunday, the Triduum, and of course that is central. But when you listen carefully to the Eucharistic prayer, especially after the words of consecration, you begin to get a sense that from the very beginning, the Church had a supernatural awareness that the Paschal Mystery is not really complete until Jesus' trajectory takes them all the way back up into heaven, precisely because that's where he now exercises his royal priestly ministry in the heavenly liturgy. Through the Holy Spirit and by means of the sacraments, we participate in that here and now, most especially in the Mass. But when you look at the last chapter of Luke, chapter 24, verses 50 to 53, Luke climaxes the gospel by showing us the Ascension and how it is that Jesus lifted up his hands and blessed them and then went into heaven. And they went back rejoicing. And it's sort of unexpected or counterintuitive. Why, if they realize that this is the last time they're going to see him, are they rejoicing? Aren't they supposed to be sad? But they recognize that what he did in lifting up his hands and pronouncing this blessing upon them was in fact the culmination of everything that is locked up in the covenant promises of God down through the ages, and most especially in that one oath that he swore to David regarding the Son of David, the Son of God. The Lord has sworn, and he will not change his mind, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So sit at my right hand. And so when we say he ascended into heaven and sits at the right hand of God the Father Almighty, that isn't simply a royal throne. It's a royal priestly enthronement because it's a royal high priesthood he now administers, offering himself in his glorified humanity, but also being the one who offers as the glorified royal high priest. When we see what Jesus did in assuming our humanity, and then in transforming bread and wine into that sacred humanity, so that when he offered it upon the cross at Calvary, and then raised it from the grave, and then ascends it into heaven, all of that is precisely what the Paschal Mystery is, and also what the Eucharist is reproducing, what the Eucharist is representing. And so the Ascension is for us sort of the end game. It's the way that we really get the eternal perspective on what everything we've been doing since the beginning of Lent, all the way through the Easter season. And so let's prepare ourselves to really enter into this mystery and go back to the temple rejoicing just like the disciples did.